Well, Tahra, thanks for joining us on our Fwd Thinkers series here at California Forward. We've been so delighted that you have this new role at the Monterey Bay Economic Partnership. And we just love to hear about some of your priorities. What are your personal biggest priorities for MBEP?
I think largely what we all share in California, which is around housing for all, broadband access, reducing the digital divide, economic development and workforce development. What does that look like to be truly inclusive, to creating inclusive economies? Policy and advocacy to the extent that's possible, and bringing our folks along within our communities to do that, while simultaneously looking at it through the lens of equity, the environment, and inclusive economies. We weave the triple bottom line in all that we do.
You've been talking a lot about doing all of this work using a really strong lens of equity and racial equity in particular. What does that mean in concrete terms for your work?
It means looking at all of our work, from our initiatives to our workforce, to our partners and stakeholders, making sure that the table is large and inclusive in terms of gender, race, lived experience, sexual orientation. Everybody should have a place. By having everybody at the table, you have unique, innovative, and creative approaches for solutions in the challenges we're facing around housing, broadband, and the digital divide, to workforce and economic development, the climate, the health issues that we have. And especially housing here is number one. Housing at all income levels, from farm worker housing to the doctors that we need recruited here, to the hospitality industry, and everybody in between.
Tell me about what, Tahra, your lived experience brings to your leadership in this role, and how it's really going to inform how you tackle the challenges that your region and our state have.
Bottom line is, I bring my lived experience as a woman, as an American Muslim woman, a woman born to immigrant parents from Punjab, Pakistan, being raised in the Central Valley in Bakersfield, born in Sacramento. My schooling was in Southern California within the UC system in Irvine. So I'm a product true of California. And as somebody who's always sort of been on the outside, kind of looking in as a minority woman growing up in the Central Valley, I learned long ago, how do you bring different viewpoints, different stakeholders. The more collaboration, the more unified, the more leverage the region can leverage in terms of resources.
So it's something that we do in order to have a better work product, not just something that we do because we want to be good people.
It also helps break down the historical structures that we have in place, whether it's our educational system or healthcare system, or any of our systems that we have. Even designing housing historically has been along racial lines. So until we have everybody at the table having those difficult and often uncomfortable conversations, we cannot arrive to the solutions that the community truly needs. But if we're just talking to people who look like us, who talk like us, have the same education and experience and knowledge, then we are kind of in our own little bubble. We're not learning or growing much. And I think given the pandemic, what all that is unearthed for us, in the times that we currently live in, I think it's a great opportunity for not only collective communal healing, but to actually do good and tangible solutions and projects.